I grew up with such like masculine men who were provider, go-getter men. And then a lot of dudes in LA just, have spray tans.
Shave their whole body.
Shave their whole body. If you don't have hair on your body as a man, no.
We closed Cottie's door. Her big mouth. That's my sister-in-law.
Oh, really?
Across the hall. She works for Disney. She's like a VP at Disney, but they are still working from home.
Oh, wow.
She doesn't have an office.
Yeah.
So she's got a toddler.
Wow.
And the toddler's like, Mama,
sure.
Mama. And I was like, just come over here and take this bedroom
that's
and make
so
it your
nice.
office. She's like, it's the best thing ever.
That's perfect.
Because, I worked from home when our kids were little, and it's really hard.
Yeah, of course.
It's like impossible.
It's like so hard to focus.
Yeah, because they know, they know where you are.
Right.
They just come get you. And you're like, I know.
Yeah.
Frustrating. But San Luis Obispo? Is that where you're from? San Juan Capistrano.
Yes, San Juan. You have a good memory. Wow. Yes, San Juan Capistrano.
I'm not. Well, is that by La Jolla?
No, it's probably like the most southern city in Orange County. So it's halfway between LA and San Diego. It's like equidistant.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I've been to La Jolla and Newport Beach and all that down in there. It's really beautiful.
It is really beautiful. That's the great part about Orange County.
Yeah.
The beauty.
Is it beautiful?
Yes.
Did you surf?
I did surf growing up.
Yeah.
I don't really surf now, but I did surf growing up. I did contests and yeah.
You surfed?
Yeah. I mean, I quit really young because I got into other sports that like my whole life was sports, and I knew I was going to play in college and stuff. And that was like third on the list. So I didn't really pursue it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Did you play volleyball for UCLA?
I played volleyball. Yeah. For UCLA. Seems like a lifetime ago. I like forget it even happened, even though it was my whole life, because I feel like I've had 9 lives.
A whole life after that.
Yeah.
What is it like to grow up in a sport or in an activity for some people, but in a sport where you have to have been immersed in it to a certain point, right?
I mean, immersed doesn't even cover it. It was like one track, I mean, I knew I was going to play in college. I loved it. And I knew I was going to play in college, and I wanted to be a professional athlete. And, I was the youngest in a sports family. And so that was just like all that we talked about. Mm-hmm. And also the culture down there is just really heavily into sports for kids. It's very competitive. Mm-hmm. So yeah, that was the focus.
And when you stopped playing, did you feel a little lost for a minute?
I didn't. It was really odd because I had a bunch of friends who quit in college and went through major identity crises. But I am such a curious person. I had all these other things I wanted to do that I never had time to do growing up, just because of my schedule. Like I would try out for school plays and like get the part and not be able to do it because of my club sports schedule and stuff. So I didn't have that. I just sort of never thought about it again. I was like really at peace with it, That's really lucky. I know.
Because I think that's not the norm.
Yeah. I don't know. It was weird. Yeah. It was very odd.
Well, then how did it affect, since you grew up in a sports family, what other sports were in your family?
Well, my brothers both played basketball. My dad played basketball, so it was very basketball family.
Gotcha.
I never played basketball. I couldn't get the ball in the hoop.
Not your thing. Just over the net. So then how did it affect what you guys talked about or the dynamic in your family when you stopped playing sports?
Kind of. I mean, I was pretty old by then, though, like college, I think it was like sad for everyone. But what professional sports for volleyball, since it's not, I mean, for women's sports anyways, it's not like a huge moneymaker, and it's mostly all overseas. So a lot of my girlfriends who are college, Olympians, national team, their 20s looked like they're playing in Russia and China for 9 months out of the year, all through their 20s. So they're gone overseas their whole 20s, Mm-hmm. And I was like,
yeah, not for you.
Plus I'm really small.
For volleyball?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, I work out with a trainer who trains the beach volleyball Olympic team.
Oh, really?
So those ladies,
the girls? Okay,
They're
we probably
ladies.
know some of the same people.
And the men.
Yeah.
Triborn, I don't know if you know anything about beach volleyball, which is different than volleyball, but yeah. And every time I go in there, I'm like, I am the tiniest in height.
Yeah.
On the planet, because these ladies are like, I don't know, 6'4".
Yeah, they're all my girlfriends were 6'4". Like I was the smallest by a foot. Like we would go to Vegas just to party, and all these girls would wear 6-inch heels and be like 7 feet tall.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and like we'd be walking through like these hotels. It would be hilarious, and of course they'd get mad if I date a tall guy. And then I went to New York because I thought I wanted to be a novelist. So I went to grad school, and I remember my graduation after like my whole life being too small. It was like my dad would always be like, if you were 5'10", you would have been like a gold medalist. You know what I mean? And then going through the graduation of my grad school, and my dad was like, you were the tallest person in the class.
That's great, because you were in this little bubble where everyone was so tall. That's really funny. How funny. Did you like New York?
I loved New York. It was like the best thing that ever happened to me. I always wonder if I didn't go to New York, like, would I have become one of those like Fox News blondes girls or something?
Why would you think you would be a Fox News blonde girl? What made you think that was the direction you'd go in?
I don't know. Like, just, Orange County is like, I had a really sheltered upbringing and I wasn't exposed to much. Like, I really didn't go to New York before I moved there. Like, I just didn't have much
going on
experience, like, so it was a huge culture shock in the best way. Just, I'm so glad I went there.
What was the biggest culture shock or the hardest thing to like process in New York?
Well, I mean, I'm really close with my family, and being away from them was really hard, but also like so healthy for me. And just like learning what my own, thoughts for myself. And the other thing is, not being able to drive a car to the grocery store is a huge pain in the ass. I was really cold. Like, everyone in their 20s, like doing comedy also so broke there. Like, you're just like you're never home because everyone has a shitty apartment, and drinking a lot. Like, I remember when I moved here, like I lost 10 pounds just like getting off the plane, just from like not drinking beer every night.
Yep.
Yep.
I lived in New York for 4 years in my 20s also.
Oh, you did?
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, exactly.
Just broke and schlepping groceries up 4 flights of stairs because you're going to walk up. And it's an awesome thing to reflect back on. You learn so much in that time period. But it is kind of hard, especially, I didn't come from SoCal. I came from rural Georgia, but it's kind of the same, whereas all my family, and then all of a sudden you're in this big city away from everybody. You got to have your own thoughts. It's just interesting.
Yeah, so, I didn't know anyone when I moved there either.
So. No, I didn't either. I'd never been. I just showed up and went, okay, guess we just figured this out.
Yeah.
What did you want to write?
I wanted to be a novelist.
Like what kind of novel?
Gosh, what kind of novel? I mean, probably like a little bit of funny, like, but coming of age.
Like a beach read type novel? Like no, okay.
I liked mysteries. I ended up, graduating because I did not think comedy was going to be my career. Like, I thought it was some wacky thing I was doing just for fun, like having a New York experience. Like, I was like, that's not a real job.
Right.
And I ended up graduating with a collection of short stories.
Amazing.
Yeah. But by then my brain had already been like long infected and, by comedy.
The contagion had caught hold.
Yeah. Like when I started, like I remember just like getting on stage, I was like, oh, this is it,
Really? First time on stage, you went, oh, this is it.
Kind of, yeah.
That's cool. You know how lucky you are? I was just talking about this downstairs when someone asked about like finding your dream.
Yeah.
And when you find it and you really know it, that's a real gift.
Yeah. I mean, I remember being like, this is so weird. I was like, oh,
This is it.
Yeah.
What about it made you feel that way?
Well, I mean, I think I was in grad school, like learning what it meant to be like a novelist, which is just an entire day writing inside alone, very solitary life. And I thought that's because there is that part of me, like I am pretty introverted. Like I love to just like spend time alone, and then I got on stage and I was like, oh, this is immediate. Like, this is much better.
Then 8 months from now, someone might read one thing and give you lots of notes.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like dissimilar to the way that a lot of TV shows go, where like you find out that a TV show got on the air that it was first pitched 8 years ago or something and went through like multiple sales and all this stuff. But when I finished grad school, it was just like in the last couple of years that the people in my class got their first book published that like I had been reading the first chapters of like 10 years later.
Right.
So, and it's sort of like comedy. I'm like, I put out my first special like 10 years later,
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it all takes forever.
It does. Well, I mean, they say you have to put 10 years in any job before you start really, really being proficient at it.
Yeah.
Even if you're a plumber.
That's true.
Like 10 years in, you're like, oh, I know everything about this job. But it takes that long.
You're right. It's like you always see all the outliers, But
I'll tell you this, after having been around comedy for a long time, it is profoundly unusual that an outlier has a long career.
Sustained, yeah.
Yes. They may have a career for a minute.
Yeah.
And they may make a lot of money really fast.
Yeah.
But sustainability is something that I've observed is built on someone who's been doing it for a long time.
Right.
7 or 8 years at least.
Yeah, because even if you have the skill, it's like, can you deal with the rush of success or your life changing or all that stuff?
Yeah.
Which is really overwhelming.
And of wanting more and wanting more and wanting more. And I think sometimes people get success and like as a stand-up, and then all of a sudden they've pivoted to TV and they stop working on stand-up. And when TV goes away, they're like, oh, hold on. I like stopped doing that.
Sure.
So now I got to start over again unless you're at a certain point as a stand-up. I mean, obviously someone like Jerry Seinfeld wouldn't have to, or Ellen, because you didn't have to worry about that.
Yeah.
But someone up and coming, if they get swept into another area before that up and coming comic piece is really set.
Yeah.
It's kind of, you can't ever stop working on that craft.
Right.
That craft is that, when they say, oh, I know you want to be an artist, but you should go to college, get a marketing degree to fall back on. Stand-up is your marketing degree.
Right.
Stand-up is what you fall back on because no one can take it away from you.
I know. That is the beautiful part about it. Because I think about, I do want to act and like I enjoy all the auditioning and all that. Yeah. Just probably because, a lot of my friends were theater geeks and I'm like, I don't know anything about that. Right. But like I don't know how that must be so frustrating just to be an actor and have to wait around for auditions. Like you just like, okay, I have no control over this.
And not have something else you can work on, right?
Yeah. To be doing outside of it.
Just one thing and have no say.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would imagine that would be really hard.
Yeah, or I'm like, how does anyone even find you?
Right.
Or discover you?
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know either.
So what inspires you? How do you figure out what to talk about?
How do I figure out what to talk about? Gosh, I like to just think about what makes me laugh or like what I'm thinking about. A lot of times, like over the years, I'll notice like what I'm talking about to my friends or like what I'm calling my friend about or what I'm tweeting about or something. And I'll write down just like a sentence and then I'll have like a list of that. And then I'll go through and like write out a bit for it. Then I'll try it out on stage and be like, do I want to be talking about this? Is this something that's really interests me? But a lot of things that I like to talk about are I try to, it's like something that I notice really interests me that I don't see other people talking about or something.
Mm-hmm. That's great.
Yeah.
That's really
like
great.
I wrote an hour about food. I did an hour stand-up like about food because I'm like, that's what I really care about. And it was just like a writing exercise for me. And I originally wrote it to go to Edinburgh, but it was like right before the pandemic. And so then I never did anything with it. But I was like, oh, like I wrote a whole hour about food. And I was like, oh, that was really fun. Just like like really dissecting like all my thoughts and feelings about it.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
Just an hour on food.
Yeah. Or just like, I try to think of things that like interest me that like people aren't really thinking about, or how far can I take like a simple, mundane thing and like make it in my own spin, you know?
Yep.
Yeah.
It's a cool way to think about simple things in life, right? Just how do you take a simple thing and kind of turn it on its side a little bit?
Yeah. Well, I try to like, I'm like, okay, we have one life, and I tried to be in my waking life, just be interested in simple things, you know, just to like feel alive.
Yeah. I would imagine that's really fulfilling.
I guess.
I think, right? I think
just
so.
Be like connected and not dissociated, because I feel like we're really dissociated with all our lives on the screens and everything, and just how much stuff we have to get done and yada, yada, you know.
So was there a storyteller in your family?
Storyteller, probably. Yeah. Like everyone, my parents are both really funny. They're super different, but they're really eccentric, which I think comes out in me. But you know, my dad's like a pretty outgoing man, also a Leo rising. And my mom is really goofy too and silly, and yeah, my whole family's funny.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you wanted to be a writer.
Yeah.
Which is a storyteller.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And comics can be storytellers.
Right. Yeah.
So you didn't have that modeled anywhere in your family?
No one is in the arts, and in fact, was highly discouraged from.
Oh, yeah?
My parents only just saw me do stand-up for the first time at my special taping.
No way.
Yeah, it was a big source of contention.
It was?
Yeah.
And how did you handle that?
I don't know, it hurt my feelings.
Yeah.
Because it was like I kind of, you know, I got on like a TV show a couple of years in, which was just like really bizarre, and did not expect that happening, you know, like, and it just wasn't like, I don't know. I think my parents really hoped like I would just get married young and have kids and live next to them. I think they still hope that.
Yeah.
So, and I think they're just like, they don't know anyone in the arts. They don't, you know, that's like, no one's like, wow, that entertainment business seems really down to earth and healthy.
And stable.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah. So, like, I think they just have normal parent fears.
Right.
And then, you know, like seeing me talk about probably stuff that they're like, what? Whoa. And then just like, they're like, they feel really sad hearing about like people writing me mean comments on the internet,
right?
Which is just like, it has nothing to do with me. It's just anyone on the internet.
Yeah.
You know, stuff like that. Just like, I think wanting to protect me.
They're just worried about you.
Yeah.
Yeah. And your brothers, they're not in the arts either?
Oh, no.
And you have an older and a younger? Or
no, younger. Yeah, I'm the youngest.
You're the baby.
Mm-hmm.
So then they have two boys that just kind of made typical choices. Typical is a bad word.
Yeah, very typical. I would say, I mean, like, you know, in suburban areas, that's like, it's like you try to get a good job, get married, like the whole thing.
Yeah.
And that's what they've done. And they have beautiful families. And there's like a part of me that is like, I'm like, oh, I really want that. I just like wasn't kind of even considering focusing on trying to attain that in any way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wasn't in your path yet.
Yeah, I mean, God willing, I'm just starting to kind of date now. I'm like, I guess I gotta put some energy here. Oops, whoopsies.
Oh, well, if you want that, you also don't have to if you don't want it.
I know. The problem is I really want it. Like, my girlfriends that don't want kids in comedy, I'm so jealous of them because, I mean, I froze my eggs when I was young, which, thank God. But had a ex-boyfriend pay for it.
Nice.
But yeah, I'm really jealous of just like how clear they can be. Yeah. Because like I have no idea how this is gonna work.
Right.
You know, like me even going out and dating kind of for the first time and searching for someone who I believe could be my partner for life and the father of my children is so new and daunting. And I'm just starting that process instead of getting into a relationship with a comedian for 2 years that was just sort of like I was busy and they were just coming at me for a while. And then eventually I was like, fine, you know?
Yep. Wife the Party is sponsored by DraftKings. Know the beautiful thing about being a sports fan? There's only like 2 days the whole year without a game. That's only two. With so much happening and so much action, that makes just about every day game day at DraftKings Sportsbook. It's super easy for first-timers to get started. Try betting on something simple like picking a team to win. Go to the DraftKings Sportsbook app, select your team, and place your first bet. It really couldn't be any easier or any simpler. And if you are new to DraftKings, you got to check this out. New customers bet $5 and get $150 in bonus bets instantly. I love doing DraftKings Sportsbook with Bert because I know so little about sports, and it's something we can do together where he can tell me, hey, place your bets on the Celtics to win, and I can watch everything going on Sportsbook, and it's so fun. I love it so much. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use code LeeAnn, that's code LeeAnn, for new customers to get $150 in bonus bets instantly when you bet just $5. Only on DraftKings. The crown is yours. Dating's just kind of hard.
Yeah. Like, I feel like I grew up with such like masculine men who were like provider, go-getter men, and then as a lot of dudes in LA just, you know, have spray tans.
Shave their whole body.
Shave their whole body. If you don't have hair on your body as a man, no.
Okay,
Please.
I'm the same. So when I first met Bert, shaved his whole body. And I went, dude, you don't have the body type to shave your whole body. That does not match. It's like me with your blonde hair does not look right. Like I tried it once and I went, yeah, that's not my personality.
Yeah.
I don't have that beautiful blonde hair. Doesn't work on me. And I was like, you got to stop shaving your body now because it's ridiculous. I'm not interested. I don't know. My question is though, are there girls that like guys that shave their whole body?
Yeah, like
because guys got to do it to get a girl, right?
I mean, I think they're misguided, but yeah, I think it's probably the similar type of girl that likes that. You know, like an Instagram model type of girl. Because like I just got back on Raya, and every dude's first picture is with their shirt off, and I'm like, I don't. And no disrespect to your loving husband, I think he probably
he's
does
an anomaly.
it in a different way.
Yeah, and is covered in hair. So yeah.
But these guys are like, their first picture is like they're not smiling and they have their full abs and they're spray tan. I'm like, if you're posting a picture of your abs, you have a bad personality. Like we're not compatible because you see your like male vanity, like since. Male vanity in its sincerity is repulsive to me.
Yeah, I hear you. It's weird.
Yeah, and I'm just like, that's for women.
Yeah, it's just, yeah. You know what's so funny about you saying that? I feel like you're not allowed to talk openly in the world about men looking like men and men not looking like men not being attractive. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you have to be inclusive of everybody. And I believe that everybody can shave their body.
Yeah.
Everybody can do whatever they want.
Yeah.
But I am not attracted to that.
But there's a lid for every pot. Like that's just not our thing.
No.
Or even those same dudes with those odd pictures and stuff. Like if they were just existing as a hot dude without being like, you know, with their clothes on or something, like I'd be like, whoa, that's like a
hot dude.
A hot, normal man.
Yes.
You know? But like them being an Instagram thought is like so unattractive to me. Or like taking model pictures or whatever.
Why is it that we're in that place? Like everything on Instagram, well, I'm not. I don't hardly do anything on Instagram. But when I look, I go, that's not your real life. Like, and if it is your real life, you're spending way too much time on your hair. Like,
yeah.
You
or
can't do
it's
anything
even worse
else.
if you're like not in entertainment. It's like, whoa, you're just doing that for you.
Yeah. I'm like, I'm complaining because it takes me 15 minutes to shower.
Me too.
You don't have enough going on in your life, right? You're just doing your hair all day?
Yeah, like you're just being pretty to just exist in Woodland Hills.
Well, I guess, who are we to say?
Yeah.
That's great.
No, it's great. I mean, like, it's so I don't come from that of seeing like a guy taking like sexy pictures of themselves.
Yeah.
You know?
I think it's kind of weird too.
Yeah. Like sincere sexy pictures, not like funny.
Yeah.
Fake sexy pictures.
Well, Bert takes sexy pictures thinking they're sincere, but it just misses the mark. Just slightly, where you're like, that's not, that's,
You guys have such
just for me.
You guys have such a sweet relationship, the way that you talk about each other and the life that you've built and your daughters and just the whole thing and just like where it started. It's really cool.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
I think we did pretty good. We constantly all the time go like, can you believe we got married? Like,
that's what I think also is different too, because like my parents and like everyone got married super young, so they just didn't really like overthink it. And of course, lots of people get divorced, but the people that make it, it's like they just sort of just were like, yeah, we're doing this. And me, I'm like, like I'm like older now, and I'm like too aware of the things, you know.
It is weird when you get married a little older. I think you've been to the rodeo and you've seen kind of what happens behind the barrier. And when you're older, you the good part of it is you've been to the rodeo, so you can like recognize, oh, this isn't going to work really fast.
Yeah.
And so you can just stop.
Yeah.
You don't have to keep trying or keep trying to figure it out, or maybe one more date. No. By the time I got to right before I was dating Bert, I was pretty good at like, this one's not going to work. But when I started dating...
And you broke up with him first, before, right?
With Bert?
Like in the beginning.
He always says we broke up.
Clips of this.
No. I said, I need a break. I need because he was with me every single day for like a year. Every day. Yeah. He was like, what are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? And I was like, I need like a couple days. Like, I just need some space. All I need was some space. And he paints it as I just devastated, broke up. She broke my heart. I was in the shower drinking Slim Fast. I couldn't even function. He made me a mixtape. It was like, for me, it was like a 4.
I
for
hope
him,
my
it was an
husband
11.
does that.
It's pretty adorable. Now that you look back on it. But
I've seen like the clips of him being like, and I talked to God and I said, if I can get her back.
He did. He said that a million times. If I can just get her back, I will never screw it up. I will never screw it up. Never. It's really sweet. He's really sweet. He's like a 9-year-old teenager. He's just a sweetie pie, you know? But yeah, dating when I don't know how old you are. I won't ask, but.
Thank you.
No, don't. No. I think you're quite young. I'm going to guess you're like 25. So,
I'm not. I'm in my 30s.
I would guess you're like 25, 26.
Well, it's just interesting too, because I, at some point after having some long-term comedian relationships, determined for me at this age that that's not really the direction I want to go in. And then I was like, oh, this isn't like how it is for the male comics, where they just stand outside the show after. And I mean, that does happen for me too. But a lot of times it's just not people I'm interested in. Yeah. And I was like, okay, so I actually have to like be involved in this process of dating, which I found shocking. It was a shocking revelation. I was like, I have to go like meet men. I'm like, okay, so if I don't want to date a comedian, I actually have to take the time to go meet men. Right. So that's been the thing. Like, I had to get on the app. I had to go like, and then just, try to meet like a nice guy.
What's your criteria?
I like a masculine man.
Yeah.
But who's like really kind, who's really smart, that who wants for himself, not for me, to be as wanted to be like a husband and father, because I think a lot of male comics or all comics, you know, we're so busy trying to make it in survival mode for so long. There's not a lot of like thought and intention of being like, I've wanted to be a father my whole life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
totally. So do you think, because I look at my relationship with Bert and what our roles were, right?
Yeah.
Because for him to be on the road, and remember, he was kind of building in the beginning when I had small kids.
Mm-hmm.
And I always look at other couples and wonder how they work juxtaposed to how we worked. You know what I mean? So what would you think that would look like?
For me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I want someone, like I'm attracted to someone who's successful and has their shit together.
Has their own life,
but wants to spend time with their family first also, you know, who can knows how to balance those two things. Like, I think that must have been tough. You have to be a really special person to be able to be married to a touring comic. Because I think a lot of times people are okay with that in the beginning and then, you know what I mean?
It gets harder. That's interesting. I think the advice I would give someone who would be with you would be to have a full life that doesn't involve you or require you.
Yeah.
Right? Not that you're not wanted there.
Sure.
But that you're not required there. Yeah. Right? So I did that.
Yeah.
I built this life of girlfriends and kids and activities and work that don't require him.
Yeah.
So that I'm not waiting to go to dinner with friends for him to be home.
Right.
That I'd never go to dinner.
Right.
You know, and I found a person, another mom who had a husband who traveled as much as my husband, wasn't a comedian, but just for his job also traveled.
Yeah.
So the two of us just ended up kind of building a friendship and a life where we together, but we didn't require each other either.
Right.
We just were like our first go-to. And if I don't have you, then I have these 5 other people I can go to, and I can have this full life experience and not feel like I never felt single.
Right.
Right. But I never felt like I had to be part of a couple to participate in what I built on my own.
Right.
But then I built something that Bert could just jump into.
Yeah.
So everybody embraced him. So it wasn't just all women.
Right.
It was other couples who just let me be a fifth wheel.
Yeah.
So if anybody's looking to date this beautiful person,
thank you.
You have to have your own life, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
That you're included in.
Right.
Just and the same when I would go on the road with Bert, you know, comics life is lonely. You're in a club, you have, you know, 1 or 2 other comics, that club owner that you won't see again for another 6 months or a year till you're back in that city. So it's not like, you know, you develop those relationships over long periods of time.
Yeah.
And like Omaha Funny Bone, where you go see Colleen every year.
Yeah.
And then every year you go see Colleen, but you see Colleen once a year.
Yeah.
So it's not that simple. It's hard for the me counterpart to Bert to build in his life, right? But I always felt included. He always made sure I felt included, even if I wasn't there.
That's really sweet. Yeah, I mean, I feel like a lot of dudes, like, all my girlfriends are like, you should date on the road. I'm like, are you out of your mind?
Yeah.
No. And also, I'm like tired from traveling and then doing 2 hours a night. You know, it's like, I'm not trying to go then chat up a stranger after. Like, I don't want to hook up a stranger. I've never hooked up with someone on the road. No, I have zero desire. It's like, and then I talk to all my guy friends. It's like their lives are so different, you know?
Yeah.
It's just so funny.
Well, but hear me out. Some of these manly man folks might be on
They
the
are.
road.
That's
the problem. The gene pool you're looking for is not necessarily Los Angeles.
I know.
So you may have to
My mom's always like, come down here and go on a date. I'm like, yeah, in my spare time. And then I'm sure some conservative Orange County guy is really going to want like some sassy broad spouting off, you know?
You never know.
We'll see.
You never know.
Yeah.
Dating was hard even back in the day. And you know, back in the day, because I'm so ancient. But, I mean, I've been with Bert for 23 years.
Yeah.
So the last time I dated someone was 23 years ago. And there was one app. It was like, I don't even remember what it was called. Oh, fuck, I don't remember.
Okay, Cupid.
Something, I don't know. eHarmony.
eHarmony. Yeah, the Christian one, right?
Is it Christian now?
I think it's Christian.
I think in the beginning, I don't know if it was Christian.
Oh, okay.
I think it was like the only one.
Right.
So it was kind of whatever.
Yeah.
It may have drifted that way. But maybe it was Christian because it was
back then it was like sort of like a taboo that it was like, oh, you're a dork if you're on there. Like it's for like geeky people.
Nobody did it.
Yeah.
I remember I managed an apartment building. We were first dating. And a couple moved in who had just got married, and they met on eHarmony, and I kept like almost like they were an anomaly.
Yeah,
I was like, wow,
right.
We met on eHarmony. That's insane.
Yeah,
and now it's just kind of what you do.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously not my preferred thing, but I'm like, okay, God really wants me to go meet new people, I guess, and extend myself.
Yeah.
Because it's just interesting, but I just wasn't paying attention. And then, as you get older, it's funny because you'll see these dudes too who like their mothers could never get their asses in church. And then all of a sudden they like reach a certain age and they're like, oh yeah, I want to be Catholic. Like you go back to your, like all of a sudden I'm like, oh, come from like a very family oriented Italian family. And all of a sudden that like family, like my biological clock. And I'm like, oh, I guess I got to like participate in this.
Start doing this.
I wasn't thinking about it like when I was just doing comedy this whole time.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
It sneaks up on you a little bit, doesn't
yes.
it? Yeah, it does sneak up on you. I have another friend who was in film production and just traveled the world in these big movies. It was her dream. And then all of a sudden she was like, hold on, I'm 35.
Yeah.
Like, hold on. If I'm going to do this, I don't even have a guy.
I know. That's how I feel.
Yeah. So I know what you mean. I think you get, when that career path rises to meet you, of course you walk on it.
Yeah.
And of course that's what you're going to do.
Right.
But as women, we are at a disadvantage.
I know.
You have to get that done within a certain time period. Stupid.
In my next life, I want to be a man.
You do?
Yeah.
I do not.
Really?
I know.
Oh, I think it looks so nice.
Why?
You don't have to get your hair done every 6 weeks. You don't have to.
Yeah, but you lose it.
You can. Yeah, but you can just be a bald dude.
Yeah, but who wants to be that? As a guy, that sucks. No guy goes, can't wait to lose my hair.
You don't have to have your period. You don't have to be thin. You don't have to be. You can walk at night. You can piss in bushes. You can.
I pissed in lots of bushes.
So me too, but it's just easier. You don't have to. You can do it standing up. You
can pee standing up. I'm not saying it would be clean, but it can be done. It'd be a little messy.
I like that you. I like that you like being a woman.
I love being a woman.
I like it too, but I always say the main thing. Like I'm like, what is the advantage? The only thing I can think about is female friendship. Like that's something I'm like, oh, men will never know what that's like. The depths of female friendship and like how enriching it is. But besides that, I don't know what else there is.
You don't? Okay, no. Let me tell you this. I'll tell you my perspective on that. Okay.
I haven't had a child yet, God willing, but maybe that'll change it.
Well, that's part of it, is that there's something really special about having a child, in that there is, I think, part of the wiring of a woman gives a woman a different perspective on nurturing and care for a child that a man's just not wired for. And obviously some men are better than others, just like some women are better than others.
Right. It's also like changing generational too.
It is changing, but listen, as organisms, male and female organisms have different hormones.
Right.
And those hormones affect everything. They affect how you think, what you look like.
Right.
I think they affect your instincts.
Yeah.
They affect everything. So that hormonal complexity of a woman causes and creates these connections you're talking about, like with female friendships.
Yeah.
Also happens with children. Also happens with your spouse.
Right.
Even if you're in a same-sex relationship, you still have that kind of really deep. Now, I'm not a man. I've never been a man. Maybe they're just as deep as me. But as I observe the two species moving through life, my observation is women tend to be almost like a round ball, where men's are like a really strong board.
Yeah.
It's just more linear.
Yes, really everything's strong. More linear.
Yeah, really linear. Where women are just kind of rounder and fuller.
Yeah.
But not being full is not a negative.
Right.
It's just like they're thick and strong and sturdy in certain things.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So my dad never really raised me like a girl. But he didn't raise me like a boy. He just raised me like a kid.
Yeah.
Right? So what that gives a girl is a lot of choices.
Yeah, that sounds nice. My dad definitely raised me as a boy.
As a boy? Oh, I know. I was like, I could play with dolls and like ride a dirt bike in the same day. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? I could go fishing and catch frogs all night long and wake up and have a tea party in the morning.
Yeah.
And all of it was like, yep. She's having a tea party with the frog she just caught. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think
all of it was allowed.
I could just be whatever. Mm-hmm. And I think at least in the 70s when I grew up, a boy having a tea party was a problem.
Yeah.
Yeah. A girl catching frogs was not a problem.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's probably still a problem in some places if you don't live in a city.
I think so. A boy having a tea party is like, hey.
Yeah, yeah.
Not everywhere.
No, thank God.
Thank God.
Yeah.
So did I talk you into wanting to be a woman?
I mean, I am one, at least in this lifetime.
So you talk about God a lot.
Yeah.
Are you religious or just spiritual? Or both?
I'm not religious. Mm-hmm. I was raised Catholic, but I'm not religious at all. But I pray a lot. Yeah, and I talk about God a lot.
Yeah.
So, but I have no desire to be in any religion.
Yeah, I'm the same way.
Yeah.
I was brought up Southern Baptist.
Oh, right.
And there's a lot about Southern Baptism that I absolutely love.
Oh, right.
And there's a lot of it that I absolutely do not love.
Yeah.
And I've read the Bible cover to cover. Some of it's pretty confusing.
Yeah.
Some of it I'm like, really? I'm not sure. I think this may be an analogy.
Yeah. And also just, I think it's sort of impossible, no matter how pure the organization, for things to not be touched by human hands and like all these arbitrary rules getting made up and just things for people's personal gain and all that stuff. And
the diddling that happens in the Catholic Church.
Which to me is like, I have jokes about it, but unfathomable, which I don't understand. Like I went to Catholic school, and like every Catholic school I went to, while I was there, a priest got transferred.
Oh no.
It was like 4, and that was then, those are just the people that got caught, and then I saw something in like France where it was like, I don't know, 850,000 cases, like, and those are just the reported ones, and you're like, okay, this is sex trafficking.
Yes. An organization.
Yeah, that is the richest organization in the entire globe.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's crazy. But nevertheless, I still have a relationship with God that has changed many times over the years. And like, it doesn't feel like a Catholic God to me. To me, I think of God as like divine loving intelligence,
Mm-hmm.
some mystical loving force that's completely amorphous that I know nothing about, but I know is loving.
How much do you feel like you trust it?
That goes really in and out, like, and I'm really working on it all the time. Like, I don't know if I've always prayed, and there's probably been like a lot of magical thinking and hope there, and a lot of letdown and misunderstanding, probably a childlike relationship with whatever it is. But I'm working on it as an adult. And the more that I like let my grasp go away and just like flow with life more, I'm noticing the easier it gets, but it's so counterintuitive. Because like I was raised by like, you get out of life with how hard you work and like whatever you earn, so I think like I applied that to God and like everything too. Like I have to earn God's love, or nothing can just come to me easy, and so I'm really like unlearning that.
Yeah.
Good
thing to unlearn.
Yeah. It's not, it's always like, oh, my destiny is in my own hands. But actually, if my relationship with God,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know what you mean. Faith is an interesting thing. Faith not meaning religion. Faith meaning believe in that thing that you can't yet see, right? That your path is as it should be, right? If you are living your best and truest, then your path is as it should be, right? And sometimes, obviously, people listening may say, easy for you to say, right? Look at my beautiful, amazing life.
Yeah.
At the same time, I didn't come from anything like what I live today.
Sure.
And what I decided to do was to ask to receive things,
right,
and to get out of the way.
Yeah.
To say, I want to have an amazing love. I want to have financial security.
Sure.
I want to feel these things and show me the way,
right,
instead of, analyzing everything for what it is or is not. I would just accept that this is where I'm supposed to be right now and ask, what am I supposed to learn?
Right.
And if you continue to kind of keep your eyes open and say, oh, this is what I'm supposed to be learning, then it just keeps getting better and better.
Yeah.
It's when you stop listening and you don't ask and you block like that energy coming into you, things stop happening or bad things start happening.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I mean, I think I've always been good at asking. Getting out of the way is another thing. Yeah.
Yes.
How have you been able to get out of the way? Have you gotten in the way?
Well, of course.
Oh, you seem so zen to me.
Well, surrender is a powerful word.
Yeah. Learning what that actually means and applying it is so different.
Well, hey, listen.
For me,
do you think that I was surrendering to everything when I was 23 years old? I'm 54.
Yeah.
It took me a long time of practicing that and of identifying when I wasn't surrendering. Like you have to identify, you have to go, why is this so hard? An indicator for me, I always have several indicators. When I stop listening, something's wrong. So and I mean just in a conversation. Like if you're not having a conversation and I start doing my to-do list, something's wrong. So either something's wrong with whatever's pulling me from the to-do list or something's wrong in this conversation. We're off track somehow.
Yeah.
So that when I stop paying attention, when I stop being really present, it's an indicator.
Yeah.
It's helpful. But if you're not paying attention to what you're doing in every moment, then all of a sudden I'm looking at this to-do list and now I'm thinking about other things and now I'm thinking about something shitty and now I'm off in a ditch over here and now I'm not. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you have to just continually put yourself back into that place of accountability every day, all the time.
Yeah.
And in the beginning, that's fucking exhausting and really hard.
Yeah.
But just like anything you do, the more you practice it, the easier it gets. And then all of a sudden, you're just doing it all the time without even being aware.
Right.
And then all of a sudden, what happens for me more now is I'll find something really hard that shouldn't be hard.
Oh.
And I'll go, okay, hold on. If this is hard, it's not the right path.
Oh.
So stop doing that.
Right.
Not that I'm afraid of hard work.
Right.
That's not what I'm talking about. Hard work, I got no problem with.
Right.
But hard work should be still moving forward, flowing, right? But if you have the same problem over and over again, you keep trying to address that same problem over and over again, then you're not in the flow.
It's unaligned, yeah.
Yes. And so God is saying, wrong path. Take 2 steps back.
Yeah.
Turn slightly right and then walk forward.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. No, I know. I feel like God's been like, oh, wrong way, turn around. I'm like, no.
Exactly.
I'm going forward.
Because you're stubborn. This is what I used to say to my girlfriends. Sometimes you can look down a street and it says dead end and you see the dead end sign, you go, got it. And you make another choice. Sometimes you got to walk halfway and go, does that say dead end? I think that says dead end. Oh, okay. Now I'm halfway there. Okay. Sometimes you got to touch the sign. Sometimes you got to touch it and go, yep, it's a dead end.
Yeah.
But that's all part of learning.
Sure. I love to touch the sign.
I know. I did too forever. And then all of a sudden I went, why am I doing that? I'm like wasting this whole time walking back and forth. I could have just turned that way and gone that way. What am I doing? So, but I'm 54.
Yeah.
It took me a long time to figure that out. Almost 54. Bert hates when I do that. I'm actually 53.
I always do that too.
I'll be 54 in August.
Oh, you're a Leo.
I am a Leo. Are you a Leo?
I'm a Leo rising.
Oh, yeah. Then what is your sign?
Libra. You know what I wonder about you, like do you still like comedy? Like, do you still like watching comedy?
Yes. I love it. But I wasn't in the world of comedy before I met Bert. I mean, I wrote romantic comedy screenplays.
Oh, you did?
Yes. And I grew up watching comedy, but I have no aspiration to be in the world of comedy. I wasn't that girl that like hung out at the store.
Yeah.
It wasn't in my wheelhouse. Just like romantic comedy and comedy film is what I was interested in. And so when I started dating Bert, I started really appreciating what comics do.
Right.
I'd looked at comedy like in kind of a macro way, right? Comics are just amazing and they're funny and I enjoy them.
Yeah.
When you are married to one, you really see that micro.
Right. What it really is.
How much intelligence and analyzation of the world and processing how they process everything differently. And it's so rich. Their brain is just so rich.
Right.
That I went, oh my God, I love this world. I don't want to be a participant in the world in that direct way. I have no interest in even writing stand-up or joke. No, I have no interest in that.
Yeah.
But I am in awe of it.
Yeah.
I'm really in awe of everybody. You know, we do this Fully Loaded festival every year and I watch every show every day. And every day I'm like, I just am so proud of everyone on that stage.
Oh,
it's
that's
so amazing.
Nice. Yeah. My best friend's Rosebud.
I love Rosebud.
Yeah. We started.
I know your best friends.
Yeah, we're best friends. So
I love her.
Yeah. We started like right at the same time in New York together. And then of course I moved here. But she had such great things to say. And then about you, and then Shane is my good friend, and I know you produce
Torres.
Yeah, we have our.
I love him.
We have our show called Big Rib Rodeo together.
Big Rib Rodeo
that we did, and it's a rib eating contest, a bull riding contest, and then we had them do stand up after.
Oh my God!
Yeah, so but he also had the best stuff to say about you.
Oh, that's so nice.
And I mean, all those people, Stavros, all of them. Yeah.
I love Stavi too.
Yeah.
And you know, I love Shane.
Yeah.
I love Shane like he's my little brother. I just
so talented.
Adore him. So incredibly talented.
Yeah,
the best heart.
Yeah, he's a sweetie.
He deserves every ounce of success the world has to offer him.
Yeah, he works so hard too.
He works so hard and he's such a great guy. Shane Torres.
Blue-eyed everybody.
Mexican.
Love you, Shane.
Check it out. And Rosebud, I told her this when she did my podcast. My biggest regret from Fully Loaded is one day she came in for breakfast. I don't remember where we were. We were in
she was pregnant.
Yeah, we were in a baseball field. And she goes, hey, LeeAnn, you want to go for a walk later? And I went, I would love that. And then we never made it happen. And from the whole festival, that was my one regret.
Oh, that's really sweet.
And I told her that on the podcast. I was like, to this day, I go, dang it, I should have taken that walk with Rosebud. Why didn't we get that done? And we just never, the day got away from us.
You know what makes me laugh is, so she and Andy are sober, and like just sober people, especially when they've been sober a really long time, like they're always doing activities, like just on the road, you know, and the rest of us, it's like we get in, and I'm not even a big, I drink, but like I'm not a big drinker or anything, and not really like not at a festival. If I'm on the road by myself, I'm not drinking or whatever. And whenever we've like been on the road or whatever, she's like, "Hey, you want to go to the aquarium tomorrow?" You know, like, or this. I'm like, "Are you out of your goddamn mind? What? She's like, they're like, all, and she's like, yeah, I'm in Peoria at a museum. I'm like, you are crazy. The sober comics are always like doing regional, you know, activities.
Yeah, right. They're exploring.
I'm like, why do you have all this energy? I flew here and I have to do comedy. That's enough.
She has a lot of energy.
Yeah, she does. we she is really energetic.
She has a lot of energy. Yeah, she is. She's a lovely person. So's Andy. I don't know Andy obviously as well. And that baby, shut up. That baby's adorable.
Adorable, gigantic baby. She is half Rosebud size.
Yeah, she's like
she came out 8 pounds. Like I just saw her. We were just in Austin for Moon Tower, and I was laughing so hard watching her carry her.
Because she's huge.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a baby like that.
For
Georgia.
such a little person.
Yep.
She's so small.
My first baby, Georgia Kreischer, I would hold her as you look like half my size.
Yeah.
Like I was either I was like a tiny person or she was this like genetic anomaly baby.
Yeah.
Big cheeks like Rosebud's baby, those big old cheeks.
I love the cheeks and like the rubber band.
Yes, here the
I love those.
The folds.
So cute.
We used to call them the folds. I'd have to separate the folds and wash between them because they're so intense.
I know. That's so
adorable.
Cute. That's really cute.
What's your least favorite thing about comedy?
What's my least favorite thing? Oh, staying up late. 100%. That's it.
Oh, well, girlfriend.
Yeah. I know.
You're out of luck with that one.
I'm such like a cozy homebody, but I love comedy. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So those two things are really antithetical to me. And I've always been like that from the start. I mean, I can, get going partying it on a night or two. But for the most part, I love to like be cozy.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
That you don't like the late night.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I always joke at the store. Like I'm like, I got to get pregnant so I can get the earlier spots. Yeah.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah.
Where's your favorite place to perform? Do you have one?
Probably at the store.
Well, yeah.
I love it.
That place is so iconic.
Yeah. I mean, I only got past like a year ago or something. So it's like still new and so exciting. I love it. And I just feel really lucky and everyone's so nice there. Mm-hmm. Other places, I mean, I just finished like a huge 14-month theater tour with Jesselnick. That was pretty cool. Like doing all those big sold out theaters that was the first time I had really done that. That was exciting.
That's cool.
Yeah, it was cool. So that's sort of it.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
And your special came out January 1st? Is that right?
Yeah, it came out like earlier
this year. And tell me the name of it again.
It's called Live from the Big Dog.
Live from the Big Dog.
And I did it with Veeps, their first class of specials, and I'm about to put it on YouTube. So.
Oh, it's not on YouTube yet?
And, it will be by the time this comes out.
Oh, when's it on YouTube?
I'm not sure. We're like
month?
I'm not sure
May,
yet.
June, July?
Oh, yeah. It'll probably be on.
Coming soon.
Yes.
Coming soon.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Any dream that you want to pursue you haven't pursued yet?
I really want to act. I have some shows in development.
That's good.
Yeah. And I want to sell my own show, have my own show. But yeah, just besides that, stand up, I do like a lot of voiceover. I love doing that. It's really fun.
I bet. What about outside the world of entertainment?
Oh, meet the love of my life and get married and have babies.
Sweet, I love it.
And just be happy, surrender, learning that one. I just want to enjoy life. I feel like we forget all of that. And me too. Like, I'm really trying to like work on that because especially in this, it's just been like clawing to survive for so long,
Yeah.
But yeah, that's sort of it.
That's the goal, right?
Yeah.
Is joy.
Yeah. And it's like, just remembering like why I'm doing things. Like me from a couple of years ago would just be so excited to know I'm doing what I'm doing right now. Like just trying to like appreciate everything isn't what I'm trying to focus on.
That's the way to be.
Yeah.
Yeah. Focus on the joy and the happy.
Yeah.
And the grace and the gratitude. To be grateful that you get to do this. There's countries in the world that women, you couldn't do what you're doing.
Totally.
And there's it's nice to have it's nice, like I said earlier, it's nice to know your dream. To really know your dream is a gift.
Yeah.
That's a real gift. And because there are a lot of people I was one of those people. I graduated high school and went, I have no idea.
Right.
And my dream kept changing as I kept living.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's natural.
I think it is natural, and I think it is more the norm than someone who goes, I want to be a stand-up. I want to be a fill in the blank. I want to be a plumber.
Yeah.
And they do that. That's not the norm. It's really a gift.
Yeah, I think I felt like that for until 5 years after college when I was in jobs. Like, I used to actually say I'm jealous of like people who knew they wanted to be a doctor because there was a clear path and all this stuff. And it was just like when I started comedy, I was like, oh, this is it. This is what I've been searching for. Like, I do worry. There's part of me that is like worries if I have to choose between a family and comedy. But I'm just like, I as of late, I'm like, just put that out of your head. Like, you don't have to worry about that now. You know?
Yeah.
I'm just like, just take steps and then the chips will fall as they may and we'll deal with it.
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally. So are you touring? When are you back on the road?
I'm back on the road starting in July. Yeah, I was like, I need a little break. I've been doing, some festivals here and there, but I needed a little break. I did 3 weekends out of the month last year, and it was a lot. And like the year before. Mm-hmm. And so that sort of also was like, oh, I guess I got to like date and I have to be in town a little bit to do that.
That's true.
Yeah.
3 weeks a month is what Bert did forever. 3 weekends a month.
Gnarly. Yeah. But he's built to be a road dog.
He is a road dog.
Yeah.
He is totally a road dog. And I kept like, when he got to a certain point, I was like, how about 2 weeks a month? And he was like, okay. And then he'd go, could you add that one more week? And I'm like, dude, I'm trying to get you to be present in your children's lives. Right. Can you just,
Yeah.
And so, yeah, he's just a 3 weeks a month kind of guy.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
He's got stamina.
He does.
Because, like, I need I need breaks. I'm really into the gym. I'm really into my sleep. Like, I need the breaks.
Yeah.
Yeah, but good for him.
Yeah, he's into the gym too.
Yeah.
And he's into sleeps and naps.
Yeah.
But I just mean like does it on the road.
My trainer like at my gym, not like
Peoria,
Iowa.
Again, we're back in Peoria.
Peoria.
And Peoria, Rosebud's at the museum. You're in the gym. Yes, exactly. Well, I'm so glad you came.
Oh, this is so nice. This was just such a delight for me. Like I feel like I know you before, so this is a thrill. Thank you so much for having me.
I'm so glad to get to know you. This is really to have an old lady phrase, this was really delightful.
It was delightful.
It was really great talking to you. I'm so glad. And I'm sure I'll see Shane. I'm going to see Shane on Fully Loaded, but tell Shane and Rosebud hi from me.
I will, definitely.
Two of my most favorite people.
Yeah.
And I'm glad I met their real good friend.
Yeah, I mean, I know we know all of my friends, but those two just stuck out because I know you know them and they love you personally.
Oh, I love them too. Well, thank you so much for coming.
Thanks for having me. This was so fun.
So you come back again, okay?
I would love to.
Okay.